Tonight, outcry around the world after an Israeli airstrike in Rafah kills dozens of civilians, including children. Survivors describe the horror at a camp that was supposed to be safe. Israel admits to a tragic mistake as Canada calls for an immediate ceasefire.
The level of human suffering is catastrophic.
The race to take cover as violent storms bear down on millions across the U.S.
Someone goes, "Get to the bathroom now!"
What's behind an unusually dangerous start to the season? And we break down how Canada Post lost $3 billion in 6 years.
They'll be out of money by early next year.
They're in very deep trouble.
Is it time to rethink daily delivery?
From CBC News, this is The National with Chief Correspondent Adrian Arsenault.
Thanks for joining us. We begin with the growing fury after a deadly Israeli airstrike on a tent camp for displaced Palestinians in Rafah, prompting international condemnation and renewed calls for an immediate ceasefire. The strike ignited an out-of-control fire that ripped through the camp, killing 45 people, according to health authorities in Gaza. Israel says the strike was aimed at 2 senior Hamas leaders and that civilians were never the intended target. Israel now calls the strike a tragic mistake and is promising to investigate. But as Tom Perry shows us, the sheer scale of it all is underscoring calls for Israel to stop its offensive.
Palestinian civilians came to Rafah hoping to be safe, but here there's utter devastation. Fire swept through this crowded encampment after an Israeli airstrike, leaving dozens dead, according to Gaza's health authority, and many more wounded, some of them children. As the sun rose, survivors returned to salvage what they could, some sharing their stories with a freelance journalist working for CBC News. Yesterday, we were sitting safely, she says. Suddenly, we found bodies thrown on the ground, blood splattered on the ground. Where do we go, she asks. Tell me, where can I find a safe place to go with our kids? Israel says its strike was aimed at and killed a pair of senior Hamas officials and came after the group launched rockets into Israel.
Last night, the IDF targeted 2 Hamas commanders in Rafah, whose hands were drenched in Israeli blood.
Israel's prime minister later told the Knesset the Israeli military tried to avoid civilian casualties, but in this case, something went tragically wrong and an investigation is underway. Though to UNRWA, the UN relief agency in Gaza, calling this a mistake or mishap is a gross understatement.
It's not an adequate, an appropriate, respectful description for a tragedy, a massacre, a horrific event of this magnitude.
The attack comes after the International Court of Justice ordered Israel to immediately halt its military actions in Rafah. On Parliament Hill today, calls for the government to put more pressure on Israel to comply with that ruling.
What will it take for this Liberal government to send a message to Netanyahu that what has happened is inexcusable?
The level of human suffering is catastrophic, and that's why, Mr. Speaker, we need an immediate ceasefire.
So, Tom, Canada isn't the only country calling for an end to the violence, obviously.
Yeah, that's right. We heard today from French President Emmanuel Macron. He's calling for, in his words, full respect for international law and an immediate ceasefire. Reuters is quoting a U.S. national security spokesperson as saying that Israel has a right to go after Hamas, but that it must take every precaution possible to protect civilians. And UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres issued a statement today saying he condemns Israel's actions, which he says killed scores of innocent civilians who were only seeking shelter. He goes on to say that right now there's no safe place in Gaza, and he concludes with what is really a plea that this horror must stop.
All right, Tom Perry in Ottawa. Thanks, Tom. University of Toronto students protesting the war say they aren't going anywhere after a deadline to clear the encampment came and went.
I believe that we will win! I believe that we will win!
U of T is now seeking a legal injunction to clear the site, while Université du Québec à Montréal was granted a partial injunction banning tents and other protest materials from being within 2 meters of university buildings. University officials met with MPs in Ottawa to face questions about anti-Semitism on campus. As Rafi Boudjikanian shows us, this comes as Toronto police and Jewish community members respond to an alarming incident over the weekend.
In Toronto, a show of support and solidarity for returning students after shots were fired at this Jewish girls' school over the weekend.
We're angry and shocked, angry that we have to explain to our girls why this is happening.
Nobody was hurt in the incident. Toronto police now searching for 2 suspects after releasing video of a dark vehicle outside the school before dawn Saturday morning. The federal government says Mounties are joining the investigation.
The RCMP obviously have responsibility from a national security context, and they're very much engaged with the Toronto Police Service. We're bringing every law enforcement tool to bear.
Imagine having to send your daughter off to school this morning, knowing that there are people who want to attack her.
This as MPs hear concerns about rising anti-Semitism on university campuses at a Justice Committee hearing in Ottawa.
Do you acknowledge anti-Semitism is a significant problem on your campus?
Yes.
President Gertler?
Yes.
4 university presidents told MPs they remain committed to battling anti-Semitism at their schools.
Have our responses to every situation been perfect? No. But our actions have been rooted in careful consideration and an attempt to balance the different rights at play.
The University of Toronto said it's already referred 38 incidents to Toronto police. It believes 6 could qualify as hate speech, but some MPs were looking for action on pro-Palestinian encampments.
The encampment has been in place for 3.5 weeks, and so we have not yet had any
expelled or suspended because of the encampment.
Those processes are underway. So none have been expelled.
U of T also says some students have been expelled for violating its code of conduct. MPs are expected to hear concerns about Islamophobia on campus in the coming weeks. Rafi Boudjikanian on CBC News, Ottawa.
Turning now to the growing disaster unfolding in Papua New Guinea. Officials now say more than 2,000 people are feared buried after last week's massive landslide. That's a dramatic increase from just 24 hours ago. Lindsay Duncombe now with the desperate efforts to find those trapped.
The search for survivors is rudimentary, and as time goes on, likely futile. Entire families gone, swept away in 8 meters of mud. I have 15 family members buried, she says. I cannot retrieve the bodies, so I am standing here helplessly. It happened early Friday, striking a cluster of villages while people slept. The land gave way in a remote mountainous region of the impoverished Pacific country.
In normal circumstances is challenging, quite a long, lengthy drive or flight or to somewhere nearby.
Satellite images show the loss. Vegetation vanished. Local officials say at least 150 homes buried. The only highway washed away. Aid is just now beginning to get through.
There is a population in big distress. People are very traumatized, looking for their relatives who are buried, and the overall situation was very, very tense.
It's been tough to count the dead and the missing. There hasn't been a census in the area for more than 2 decades. Getting help to people is dangerous, complicated by violence between warring factions.
Other criminal groups, rascals as they are known, opportunists, can try to capitalize on this chaos, and they may attack to carry out some carjacking and as well as looting, even humanitarian supplies.
It's expected military convoys will travel with aid. There are risks of more slides too. The ground is still wet and unstable. All of it adding fear to the overwhelming grief. Lindsay Duncombe, CBC News, Vancouver.
Some breaking news back here at home. A tornado touched down in Quebec early this evening, causing damage to at least 3 homes. According to Environment Canada, the twister touched down in Rigaud, that's about 70 kilometers west of Montreal, near the Ontario border. No injuries have been reported, but the damage is still being assessed. And south of the border, the damage is on a whole other level after dozens of tornadoes ripped through parts of the U.S. More than 20 people were killed, hundreds more were injured. Alison Northcott has more on this extreme weekend weather and its devastating aftermath.
The powerful, deadly storms left destruction and heartbreak across multiple U.S. states.
Everything's gone. All of our stuff is gone.
Strong winds, large hail, and dozens of reported tornadoes tore through neighborhoods and leveled homes in Texas, Oklahoma, Kentucky, and Arkansas.
I knew something was bad. We heard it. It lasted a couple minutes, and then pretty devastating.
There are wide paths of damage and debris. Some had just moments to shelter wherever they could. For Frank Saltisiak, it was in a walk-in cooler.
It was just unbelievable, the sound of all the destruction going on around us.
By Monday afternoon, officials said at least 21 people were killed over the weekend, including 2 young children in Texas.
With this particular one, the damage and the loss is just really heartbreaking.
This is all that's left of a highway rest stop where dozens were hiding inside.
I kid you not, 30 seconds in, someone goes, "Get to the bathroom now!"
Ricky Heron barely had time to heed that warning, scrambling with others into the restroom as the force of the wind ripped into the building.
That's when everything hit. It saved me and my wife's life. And 50, 60 other people.
President Joe Biden offered his condolences to those who lost loved ones as officials assessed the damage.
As I was driving up that road, you could see all of these RVs that were crushed and truly nothing more than rubble.
The U.S. National Weather Service says there have been nearly 1,000 tornadoes reported in the U.S. so far this year, about 30% above average.
But all of a sudden, we got into a really favorable pattern across the country, and the number of severe weather reports went up dramatically over the past 5 or 6 weeks.
And he says that weather pattern is expected to stay active for at least the next few days. Alison Northcott, CBC News, Washington.
We're learning more tonight about the death of a soap opera actor in Los Angeles. Johnny Wachter's family says he died trying to stop a robbery. Police say Wachter was shot and killed when he interrupted 3 men trying to steal his car's catalytic converter early Saturday morning. No arrests have been made. The 37-year-old was best known for his role on General Hospital. A CBC News investigation has tracked down a Manitoba doctor who faked cancer to defraud more than $100,000 from a colleague. As Caroline Bargout explains, while she can't practice medicine, she is still allowed to call herself a doctor.
Megan Labine met Monica Kahar in 2018 as medical residents. Labine lived in Thunder Bay, Kahar in Winnipeg, but they forged a long-distance friendship.
She was very genuine.
So when Kahar said she had breast cancer and was struggling financially, Labine agreed to help.
She was in absolute tears, beside herself, that she was being kicked out of her apartment. She had no place to go. Things outstanding.
By 2020, Labine had lent Kahar $160,000. Over time, her friend's story wasn't adding up, and the cancer turned out to be fake.
Kahar was expelled from residency and censured by the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Manitoba, the regulatory body. An investigation found she altered emails and documents and submitted them to the University of Manitoba.
It concluded Kahar fabricated evidence of a non-existent serious medical diagnosis in order to get 2 colleagues to lend her a substantial amount of money, and that she had shown an unfitness to practice medicine.
I'm not going to lie, at the start I felt absolutely humiliated because you think to yourself, how could I be so stupid as to be led on like this?
Labine has been on a mission for the past 4 years to track Kahar down. A CBC News investigation found Kahar moved to BC in 2021 and started a now-defunct company offering electrical muscle stimulation, advertising herself as an MD. While she is not licensed to practice medicine, the College of Physicians and Surgeons of BC says she can still call herself a doctor because she has a medical degree.
There's so much health misinformation out there. There's so many fraudsters out there. And I think the public needs some clarity. When someone uses the title doctor, I would like it to mean something.
This expert wants regulators to change the rules so that only licensed doctors can call themselves an MD, or at the very least, people who are not licensed would have to declare that publicly. CBC News reached out to Kahar. She declined an interview for this investigation. Caroline Bargood, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Thousands of people are back in Fort Nelson, BC tonight, more than 2 weeks after wildfires forced them from their homes.
Fort Nelson is just amazing, and I love my community. I love what they've done. When I get home, I'm just going to relax, take it easy for a bit.
An emotional homecoming for many after the stress of being displaced. Residents are still under an evacuation alert as fires continue to burn nearby. And it's been 1 year since wildfires ravaged parts of Nova Scotia, but the toll of that trauma is still being felt tonight. Gareth Hampshire spoke with a father and fisherman who lost his home about the challenges of rebuilding from the rubble.
Casey Dominguez will not forget the day a year ago when he had to drop his fishing gear to fight the largest wildfire Nova Scotia has ever recorded.
We all did what we had to do. We knew we had to save what we had to save, and as a fire department in our community, that's just what we did.
While he helped save some homes as a volunteer firefighter, he lost his own. One of 60 destroyed by the flames along the coast of southwest Nova Scotia. It had a big effect on him and his family.
On the inside, I guess I was struggling more. I wasn't talking the way I should have been. I should have been talking with my wife, but I wasn't.
Thousands were forced from their homes when the flames spread through Shelburne County. Many still have to confront the scars left behind. This support center was set up to offer temporary help after the fire, but it's still going, with people showing up every day.
It started out maybe as just fire recovery needs, and then it has morphed into something much bigger for so many people. Just giving them a space where they can come and talk about their struggles and hopefully connect them to other community service support work.
Adding to the anxiety this season, it has been another dry spring.
I think the fire service is kind of on the edge of their seat. The citizens are very on high alert. Any kind of smoke in the air at all gets a call.
Back in Carlton Village, things are improving for Casey Dominguez, his wife, and 2 young daughters. The family's new home has been rebuilt, and he's now also in a better place, thanks to therapy his wife thought would help.
I don't think it's going to be easy, to get back, but basically my 2 girls and my wife is what kept me, is what's keeping me going now.
It's the support of his family and community that's helping him and others bounce back. Gareth Hampshire, CBC News, Shelburne County, Nova Scotia.
The city of Vancouver is ramping up its fight against climate change, forcing buildings to lower their emissions or face big fines.
With the right structures, we see lots of progress being made.
Why some building owners are concerned. Next. Plus, why the Postal Service is losing so much money.
Canada Post in the last 24 to 30 months has lost half of its market share in parcels.
Andrew Chang breaks down the problem and what some say the post office needs to do to get back on track. And later, a superhero boost for a 5-year-old.
He was shocked, excited.
The bionic arm that's made his dreams a reality. We're back in 2 minutes. That standing ovation is for Rafael Nadal as he walked off the court at the French Open, possibly for the last time. The 14-time champion was eliminated in the opening round after a loss to Sasha Zverev. Nadal has been dealing with injuries and after today's match said he couldn't say if this would be his last time at the tournament. Well, the city of Vancouver says it is the first in Canada to take a new step to curb emissions. It's putting a limit on just how much big office and retail buildings can pollute. As Tanya Fletcher tells us, many owners are on board but say this will not be easy.
And as we kind of move over here, you'll see
a lot more of that piping that we saw.
Jesse Gregson shows us a narrow mechanical room filled with pipes all connecting a new heat recovery system. His real estate company is upgrading 2 buildings to meet Vancouver's new bylaw, including the biggest mall in the city.
In this building particularly, we're targeting a 50% steam reduction, which equates to almost 50% reduction in emissions for the building.
In Vancouver, more than half of all carbon pollution vents from buildings. The cap on emissions will now apply to roughly 200 buildings citywide, and owners who don't comply will face hefty fines. The bylaw was inspired by similar measures in New York, Boston, and Washington, D.C.
With the right structures, we see lots of progress being made in 3-year timeframes.
Schneider Electric is a global company that helps with decarbonization. They look at the energy footprint of a building to calculate exactly which retrofits are needed.
The technologies exist, the business models exist, the financing exists to get probably 70% of a good transition done relatively quickly.
The city says roughly 1 in 4 buildings covered by the new bylaw currently exceed the emissions limits, with fines typically ranging from $10,000 to $30,000. But those building owners have a grace period until 2026 before those penalties kick in.
One thing we heard loud and clear is that, real estate owners need help to get this work done. If you're a bigger player,
BC's Industry Association says while the timelines are feasible, it's the cost that can be a big challenge.
So a building owner might look at that and go, well, wow, this building is not worth as much as it was 5 years ago. I'm going to have to spend a significant sum of money to make it comply with these regulations. Maybe it makes more sense for me to redevelop this building and tear it down.
Ultimately, Vancouver's goal is to cut big building emissions in half by 2030 and altogether by 2040. Tanya Fletcher, CBC News, Vancouver.
There is growing fear in South Korea about a record number of missile tests fired by the North over the past year. We visit the demilitarized zone for a look at what's behind the escalating tensions. Plus, the lives of 2 young friends upended by war.
Old friends always know how you feel. They know a lot about you.
Their rough journeys and unbreakable bond. But up next, Andrew takes a look at a tricky moment for a Canadian institution.
So, Adrian, Canada Post, everyone knows it's a crown corporation, right? But most people think that means it receives taxpayer dollars. Well, it doesn't. It has to be profitable to stay alive. But is it profitable? No. We'll talk about that after the break.
That orange light in the night sky is what Japan's public broadcaster says is North Korea's latest rocket launch. It burst into flames not long after takeoff, and North Korea confirmed it was a failed attempt to put a second spy satellite into orbit. Now, in South Korea, what has many concerned are North Korean missile launch trials. Radio Canada's Philippe Leblanc was in the South recently and shows us the everyday reminders for residents.
This fisherman and his crew make their living fishing in an area near North Korea. It's risky business because whenever the North conducts ballistic missile tests, South Korean officials keep him on dry land. That can cost him up to $2,000 a day.
We're in Daemyeong Port, which is located less than 15 kilometers from what is called the Northern Limit Line, which is the de facto maritime boundary between South and North Korea since 1953. Here, North Korea's provocations are part of daily life.
The tensions felt in fishing villages are mirrored across the country. North Korea conducted a surge of missile tests last year, then launched a spy satellite in November. Kim Jong-un's rhetoric hasn't helped, saying now is the time to prepare for war and increasing military cooperation with Russia.
As the end goal that can justify all the sacrifice. And
this analyst says the lack of dialogue between the North and Washington and Seoul is a problem.
That has led the regime in Pyongyang to double down on cooperation with China and to double down on cooperation with Russia, both of whom are assisting North Korea with sanctions evasion, providing diplomatic cover.
Back in Daemyeong, market vendors like So Jong-suk lay some blame for the tensions at continuing joint US and South Korean military drills. The current government's suspension of a 2018 military agreement with the North has exacerbated tension, she says. Some hold out hope for a negotiated peace, but in the meantime, fishermen now undergo government emergency drills, reflecting heightened concerns amid escalating rhetoric from both sides. Philippe Leblanc, CBC News, Daemyeong, South Korea.
Now it's time to dig deeper into the stories shaping our world. The unshakable friendship of two little girls tested by Russia's war in Ukraine.
I was just scared. I just stayed brave for them.
How they're thriving now in Canada. But first, Canada Post's perilous position.
They're in very deep trouble. They're in very deep trouble.
After billions in losses, the Crown Corporation may soon run out of cash. Andrew Chang, host of About That, breaks down how things got so dire and what's needed to save it.
I'd be willing to bet, no matter how bad you think Canada Post's finances are right now, it's actually worse. For starters, Canada Post loses a mind-boggling amount of money each year. Down $748 million last year alone. The year before that, $548 million. Minus 490, minus 779, minus 153, minus 276. Over the last 6 years, which, by the way, is how long it's been since Canada Post last turned a profit, it's lost almost $3 billion. Now, something most people don't know about Canada Post is that they are a Crown Corporation, but they don't actually take any taxpayer dollars at all. So they have to make money to survive. But according to their own annual report, letter mail volumes have eroded significantly. There's been a major decline in our cash position. Canada Post's financial situation is unsustainable. Its long-standing role is under significant threat. We expect to fall below our required operating and reserve cash requirements by early 2025. Let me translate that last one for you. They'll be out of money by early next year.
They're in very deep trouble. They're in very deep trouble.
So how did Canada Post get into this situation, and what would it take to save it? 2006 was a good year for Canada Post. That's when letter mail volume peaked at 5.5 billion pieces of mail sent. But since then, for almost 20 years now, the number of letters Canadians send to each other has been in free fall. Here's what the last 10 looked like. Minus 6.1%, minus 6.8%, minus 8.8%, and it just keeps dropping. By last year, Canada Post was delivering only about 2 billion letters.
The way I like to put it, my university has about 35,000 students. Imagine if 30,000 of them just disappeared and we're all of a sudden we're a university of 5,000. It would just be catastrophic. That's what's happening to the post office.
And it's important to underline how lucrative letters were to Canada Post. Canada Post used to turn millions of dollars in profits each year.
Each working day of the year throughout Canada, the post office handles about 10 million pieces of mail.
Canada Post says it made almost $100 million in the past year, and it expects even bigger profits in the future.
It built huge cash reserves. The experts we spoke to said there have at times been as much as a 50% profit margin on letter delivery, which is a phenomenal margin. And Canada Post has a monopoly on mail. So by law, only Canada Post can deliver letter mail to or from any point in the country at the standard postage rate. Now, in exchange for this exclusivity, Canada Post must follow a very simple requirement, that it must deliver mail 5 days a week to all Canadians everywhere. Every address has to be served in some way. In exchange, they get their monopoly on mail. Problem is, that monopoly is worth less and less every year, and it's actually kind of a liability. Here's how many new addresses Canada Post had to add to its list of millions of Canadian addresses it has to serve. 5 days a week, rain or shine. And those routes can get more and more expensive as communities expand and new homes get built farther and farther away from city centers.
we'll have 50,000 Canadian workers, postal workers, marching up and down the streets of Canada 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year, to 17.5 million addresses with nothing to deliver. And the deficits will be soaring to $3, $4, $5 billion a year. And I cannot imagine any future government, no matter which party it is, saying, well, we're okay with that.
Now, this problem might have been surmountable, if not for a second death blow to Canada Post, a race in which it is only falling further and further behind.
The Crown Corporation says the number of parcels is staggering.
Amazon and online shopping in general really transformed how we think of mail, right? We don't get as excited about letters anymore. Now it's all about, when is my package arriving? For a time, Canada Post was really competitive in this space.
Named after Canada's first black letter carrier, Canada Post's newly opened parcel processing plant here in Scarborough is being dubbed the country's new e-commerce hub.
Just last year, it unveiled a brand new package sorting plant in Scarborough, Ontario. It could handle 1 million packages a day, process an incoming package and have it ready for dispatch in less than 4 minutes. It doubles Canada Post's capacity in the Greater Toronto Area, and it is a critical hub for the entire network. This was important because just before the pandemic, Canada Post controlled a whopping 62% of the parcel delivery market. But just last year, as online shopping kept exploding, Canadians are receiving more and more packages than we ever have before. Canada Post's revenue went down.
Paradoxically, Canada Post in the last 24 to 30 months has lost half of its market share in parcels, not because the market is disappearing, but because they're not competitive.
Smaller, nimbler companies moved in. Like, I don't know about you, but it feels like every time I receive a package nowadays, it's shipped to me by a company that I've never heard of.
These are gig drivers who own their own car, and they come at Friday night at 10 o'clock and drop it on my front porch.
Their business model, low skill, low overhead, low cost. Their employees often don't have the same kind of benefits, overtime pay, vacation time, bargaining power, if they have a union at all.
The people have stopped mailing, and they stopped mailing last week.
The letter carriers are continuing their program of nationwide rotating strikes.
Contract! Now!
There's lots of honking, lots of more picketers now than there was last hour.
And remember, Canada Post by law has to maintain operations everywhere, even in those parts of the country that aren't all that profitable, because people are too spread out, harder to get to. In bigger cities, where all the money is, competitors are like piranhas, and Canada Post itself knows this.
Financially, things are very challenging. The reality is things have moved so quickly in the last 2 years that the platform we've built in terms of increasing our volumes in parcels due to e-commerce has been chipped away by the competition.
And in Canada Post's own annual report, we are the only major carrier that does not offer regular 6-day-a-week delivery in major urban centers. Some competitors offer 7-day-a-week delivery nationally.
We didn't expect our market share to drop that quickly and for the competitors to take that much of the volume.
Parcels are the single most important way Canada Post makes money, about half of its total business. But every piece of this pie, parcels, letter mail, junk mail, they've all gotten smaller. So Canada Post's bread and butter of delivering letters is crumbling away, and the booming market of parcel delivery is too crowded. So how do you solve this problem? Well, it depends who you ask. Canada Post's position is that it needs to be freed of the requirement that it deliver daily to every single Canadian.
The Postal Service Charter was put in place in 2009. It hasn't changed much, and that dictates how and when mail is delivered. But that was back when Netflix was delivering DVDs through the mail. So the world has changed a lot.
So maybe daily letter delivery becomes every other day. It also wants its employees to be more flexible, like maybe delivering packages on weekends without it being considered overtime. But the union sees things differently.
So the union feels that the way for Canada Post to survive is actually to expand its services, to offer more to Canadians, and that could be a way that the company could bring in more money. So one of the things that they often point to is postal banking. Basically, it allows you to do banking services at a post office. Another thing is check-ins for seniors. So your letter carrier literally also checking in on seniors and then bringing in some profit that way.
But if you ask our expert, Ian Lee, he proposes something a little more drastic.
We do not need 8,000 post offices because we don't go there anymore. And they're costing $1.5 billion to $2 billion a year. I've argued that they should be completely franchised or closed. That's very radical to a lot of people. But if you go on to any post office, and I do go into them from time to time because I do the research, and there's nobody there. There's just nobody there. So you kill the post offices, or most of them, and you kill home delivery. Right off the bat, you pulled out around $2 billion of savings to reinvest into parcels.
Kill home delivery right off the bat. By that he means end door-to-door letter delivery altogether. Everyone gets their mail through a community mailbox or some other centralized point. Now, you may be wondering, where does the federal government land on all of this? I mean, they own Canada Post, they regulate it, but right now they're pretty non-committal.
But is it time to end the requirement for daily letter mail delivery for Canada Post? Is that something that
is an option which Canada Post is apparently considering, obviously talking with unions and leaders and workers as it is developing one of this option and among many others as well.
But Adrian, this much is true. They're on the clock. Remember, Canada Post's own forecast is that they're out of money by early next year. So whatever happens next has to happen fast and with some serious money behind it.
Hey, Andrew, thank you. Coming up next, a friendship that has endured a war and a journey halfway around the world.
It helped me to be happy.
The bond that's brought them through so much, next on The Breakdown. Torn apart by war in Ukraine, two best friends reconnect in Canada.
It helped me to be happy.
Old friends always know how you feel.
Distance still divides these girls, but their bond is as strong as ever. Bonnie Allen on their fight for survival and what it's taken to find a place to call home.
At 11 years old, Kira Polyshuk is clearly smart and strong. The girl from Ukraine, now living in Swift Current, Saskatchewan, excels in English and holds a brown belt in Taekwondo. Hi. But her life has been turned upside down since the war in Ukraine began. And when times are tough, this is who she turns to, her best friend from Ukraine, Sasha Filipchuk, now living in Sudbury, Ontario.
Old friends always know how you feel. They know a lot about you, so they can figure out when you're sad or happy.
They were best friends in Ukraine. The day before Russia's invasion was Sasha's 9th birthday and the last time they'd see each other in person.
We were a little confused because people were saying different things and we didn't know which to believe.
As the war began, their town near the capital was immediately hit. Kira's family fled west. She and her mom say they tried to hide their fears from each other.
I just stayed brave for them.
And you were being brave for her.
Yeah, we team. High five my team.
Sasha's family hid in their basement, then tried to get out, unaware they were driving into a massacre in Bucha. Russian forces shelled their car, killing Sasha's stepfather. She was shot in the left arm.
And the car was burning. That's why I just took her from the car and we started to run.
They hid for 2 days until Sasha's arm became infected with gangrene and had to be amputated. A doctor shared her story and she made headlines for what she said in her hospital bed. I don't know why the Russians shot me. I hope it was an accident and that they didn't mean to hurt me. Kira was crossing the border into Poland when she received the news that her best friend had been shot.
I was really worried. I didn't know what's going to happen tomorrow or in an hour.
In Poland, Kira's mom accepted an offer from a stranger, a woman from Austria, who invited them to come live in her house for free. Meanwhile, Sasha and her mom were taken to Italy for more treatment and a visit from the Pope.
You know, it was like in a dream. It was like, you know, it took maybe 5 minutes or so. I couldn't say anything.
But still, Sasha had nightmares.
I was just scared that somehow Russian military will visit our hospital.
Known as True Limb.
By August 2022, Sasha and her mom were flown to the United States to receive a high-tech prosthetic arm, a symbol of hope and resilience for many. Then, through Canada's fast-track program, they moved to Sudbury, where Sasha's mom, Yulia, has a friend. She refuses to dwell on the past.
We can't cry when our kids seeing us, right? We have to be strong. I have to look forward.
After 8 months in Austria, Kira and her family said goodbye to their guardian angel and moved to Canada too, under the fast-track program. A friend guided them to Swift Current.
We are pretty lucky. There's some people in Ukraine that got worse, and we got pretty lucky. I'm glad that all of my family is safe and that we're all together.
The girls had hoped moving to the same country would mean they would reunite, but so far the distance and cost has prevented that from happening. They still lean on each other from afar.
It helped me to be happy.
Their connection unbreakable, just like their spirits.
Bonnie, these two are pretty great. What's your sense of how they're settling in?
Oh, they're both doing really well. Kira, here in Swift Current, Saskatchewan, has won 6 gold medals at Taekwondo tournaments in Saskatchewan. Sasha in Sudbury is taking swimming lessons, piano lessons, English lessons. They both do have new friends, having sleepover parties, but as you saw, they have a very special bond and they do miss each other.
And they find ways to stay in touch, but are there any plans to sort of physically reunite them?
Absolutely. The distance and the cost of travel are challenges, obviously. But I can tell you that since we've begun to report their stories, I have received text messages and emails from people who want to see them back together, including one offer from a couple here in Swift Current to cover the cost of their flights. Now, Kira wants to see Niagara Falls. Sasha wants to see the mountains. Parents have to work out the work schedules, but I do hope there will be another chapter to this story, Adrian.
Oh, fantastic. Bonnie Allen in Swift Current, thank you.
You're welcome.
Up next, a 5-year-old gets a bionic boost and some newfound confidence to go with it.
He was shocked, excited. I think there was a little bit of like, wow, it's finally here, like this is mine.
Why he now feels like a superhero in our moment. Now that little guy is Jordan, Long Island, New York's latest superhero, looking stoic and embracing the call to justice. Born without his left hand, he isn't letting that hold him back. With a little help, he's turned it into his superpower. And tonight, this is our moment.
How do you feel? Thumbs out. That's one of his tricks. We got there, and what happened? You opened the box, and what did you say?
Good.
Good. No, I think he was really excited having this in his hands. It was a really cool experience. He was shocked, excited. I think there was a little bit of like, wow, it's finally here, like this is mine. You could see he hasn't really stopped kind of playing around.
Yes! Go Jordan!
What did you ride on at Gaga's house when we first got your robot hand?
My scooter.
His scooter. So he finally got to, you know, clip on with 2 hands, and that was pretty exciting. How much do you love superheroes?
I don't know.
You don't know? The greatest benefit is really just gonna be that boost of self-confidence. I mean, he is the youngest to use an arm hand like this. You always want your kids to be happy, and this just was kind of like a wow moment for us.
Okay, the music totally makes it. First thing he did in New York was hail a cab with that hand. Did you know, I didn't know this, that there are these bionic hands for Marvel superheroes, Star Wars, Disney? They're all there. For all of us here at The National, thank you for being with us. You can watch anywhere, anytime on the free CBC News app and subscribe to The National's YouTube channel. I'm Adrienne Arsenault. Take care.